It definitely is not something that people are screaming against.
Well, folks, we are into Agent Select. Wyatt was talking about that double initiator. We said we are going to see the Starbound Chamber before, and it didn't happen. Could we be lying again? Maybe, possibly. But we are moving into FlyQuest map pick of Split, where Wyatt just talked about that beautiful 7-0, that beautiful comp that we're using the fakes and that micro that we want to see.
Yeah, now watch them just switch it.
Imagine they're just like,
switch.
Likely.
Actually, let's run triple duelist.
Actually, Jet Roulette, everyone. Starbound inspired us. Let's get it done. And here we are, but we do see that Sky again, Wyatt.
Yeah, we get the Sky, we get the KO. The only change because Neon nerf switch over to the Waylay, so makes sense. And yeah, WADA, this is what they played at the one time they ran Split, I believe, and definitely a lot more standard of a look. And if there were ever a time to get the Starbound takeover, this would be it. WADA definitely need them to lock in.
The good news is, for our Starbound fans who maybe are just joining us, pretend that the Ascent didn't happen, that Jet didn't happen. We have the Starbound Chamber. So that's the good news. You know, it kind of, if this is the time we talk about, like Wyatt said, to move to kind of the Starbound domination that we've been used to for years, basically, at this point, with Starbound on Jet. This is what we are looking for. But also Bunny B on the Raze, Dan. We were highlighting Bunny B before, kind of stepping into that WADA role with Arya stepping down on that explosive Raze, Dan.
It is, when we mentioned for FlyQuest, they were looking good. They have been looking good on this map. But a lot of it was some of, again, those set plays that we got to see on the defense with that information that they're able to get from that KO knife early on. But here for WADA, they're definitely set up for success. You're going to have Starbound on the Chamber. You're going to have a Power Pixel and Bunny B on that Sky and on that Raze that work really well together. And June, I feel like, has always been really, really great on that Viper and the way that they're going to have to take those reads. So, yeah, both of the teams are changing the duelist, but in terms of the game plan that they had before, it should be in about the same as we saw on that Swiss stage.
Well, folks, why wait any longer? Let's get into the game. Can FlyQuest make this a quick 2-0, or can WADA bring us to a map 3? I'm going to send over to your casters, Zobi and Gompers.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We're back in it. And this time we're on a map that both of these teams have practiced, have prepped. They have played it various amounts of time. And it's a map favorite, Zobi, but we're seeing a lot of changes, obviously, with the Neon nerf, Shotgun's nerf. It is going to be a little different with Bunny B going on the Raze and actually Edith on the Waylay.
Yeah, the Waylay has been a consistent factor pre and post nerf for Fly, so I think it's going to be nice for their stability element. For that regard with WADA, we're on different sides of the fence. I really, really like the Bunny B Raze. You were more of a fan of the Neon, so we'll see how it does in translation. But I think the biggest thing is the win con's going to be different for this map versus Ascent for both teams, right? WADA, I'm looking at Juna and her lurk and how that's developed on for her as a player. And on the Fly side, I feel like the defense is going to be how the retakes go and how Jazzy and Edith together function in anchoring A side, since that's classic for a Waylay Sky combo, versus it's very different how it was Thea and Melia on the hard anchors on Ascent. So all in all, very different, but swap sides, swap starts, and we'll see what exactly happens. Very, very Stark dive B side, deserted actually by WADA here, but set up for a nice reflood with this Stark mid control.
Yeah, already 4 players out of the 5, you know, nearing towards the B side. But there is a lurk, and this worries me for WADA. Unless they can keep that mid control, it could pose a threat. But, I mean, really, time will tell. Flash waiting to be prepped here from Ev, and there is a slow workaround on the defense. Jazzy now making some noise, and there's that initiation, but the right clicks are looking beautiful. And it's already FlyQuest having a very, very good trial run here and taking everybody out here from WADA. So the player advantage leaning over towards them, and the shots hitting from Ev and everybody else on this team.
Oh. Thought for a sec we're going to have that Power Pixel play, but the group up there to finish off the 2v1 is pristine from Fly. They pick up the momentum where they left it off on Ascent, taking their first pistol win of the series. And yeah, again, they definitely, I think, preyed on that heavy mid stack from WADA and converted that into a really nice exec and follow through pistol.
I loved it. That was great. And I'm not really thinking we're going to see much difference, you know, with Bunny B's playstyle from here on out, especially once we switch over to the TAC. The Raze is in essence kind of the same as the Neon with those blast packs there.
Well, looks like it was so successful they're going to run it back again. A hard read worked successfully, it looks like here, as the entirety of WADA is A side. So I'm not expecting greatness, I would say, from WADA on this retake converse, but I'm open to being pleasantly surprised. I mean, the dog, you got this. If you had Hunter bullets for Starbound and a Paranoia, like, they have the util to make some magic happen, but with the forward positioning now from Fly, it seems like they're not gonna have the chance to play it how they want.
Yeah, and multi-kills from FlyQuest that they are finding so easily. I mean, pop flash out, information now has been received, so Edith knows that they're retaking in said position.
Well, Fly again, they have nice low risk forward positions here with any of the drop down, like they had a refract in the back pocket for Edith, and that's why this composition feels so successful. In the meantime, they know that WADA's just trying to die to Spike, rob them of these orbs, so send in the player with only a pistol to try and steal some of these away. Unfortunately, just some chip damage found. Will not go their way, but I mean, that's the only thing that doesn't go their way, right? Fly flawless on that second round.
All right, this is the reset, guys. The first 2 rounds, you know, yes, they matter. Pistol round won out by Fly. I would say they won out the pistol round pretty prevalently, at least on their attacking side as well. For the last map, maybe I'm wrong.
No. WADA took both, right? And then they got second round thrifted.
Guys, I'm a hashtag liar. Don't listen to me.
Guys, if my memory's trashed you, I have it written down, Gompers. Only reason why I know. And, I mean, that's what set the course for disaster was WADA losing that second round thrifty, right? So, with that here, it would be similarly distraught, I would feel like, to lose the bonus here. And that's where, again, I really like the Edith entry, but this time WADA to hold their ground. Australis was previously quiet, getting first blooded so much by they on Ascent, gets to step up here and back into the limelight.
Yeah, this is the first time we've actually seen, you know, there be some kickback from WADA here on the B side. So they weren't expecting that, unfortunately. Edith does now have to try to make those numbers work. Trailers coming out in due time.
I'll be honest, 8-4 half, right? That ends as a 13-5. We didn't get to see too much of the WADA defense there over on Ascent. And starting here on it, we get to see that confidence. Zoom in a little bit. I know Spike is in a semi-awkward position to recover, so the numbers swarm here. That does generate some openings, some gaps with numbers so against Fly. They stay grouped, they stay looking for these overpeaks.
Smoke goes down. Now there's potential, but 30 seconds left. It does make it a bit risky.
Is that 5 bullets for Australis?
Dude, yeah, and you still got like 5 players on B site, so it's just not working out very much unless they manage to really put that aggression in the game. But I mean, spray down some smoke. 14 seconds left, and a dream for Melia.
Yeah, I just wanted WADA to stop swinging. Obviously, Australis had to in an uncomfortable position with only 5 bullets, but so they keep it clean. Melia gonna keep the one weapon that was bought into the bonus. It looks like for Fly. So, WADA, you asked for it. Once the rifle rounds get there, they reset the mental and the scoreboard, getting the first point on it. And we'll have a more traditional back and forth flow this map for this half that wasn't characteristic of WADA's defense on Ascent.
Yeah, I'm assuming a big difference in pace of play now that we're all pretty rich in money here. So assuming, kind of interesting to see, because Melia typically likes to hold A, but now we're seeing kind of like a duo ship here. Oh no, never mind.
Yeah, I think the idea was maybe to farm ult orbs, and then they realized like, hey, we might need that flash from Ev to set up, or the knife to set up this mid take, and they entrust Melia to try and terraform a main. And unfortunately, the tag team here, thought Starboard was in a nice angle.
And interesting how aggressive Melia's being, too, which, you know, typically just very, very quiet on the A side. There's a slight difference here with now making some sort of distraction and pressure.
Oh, this is a nice balance, right? The noise from Edith draws Starbound's eyes away and allows Melia even more forward positioning, and now maybe the opportunity to isolate the fight against Power on site, while Fly further sell this split.
Toxin screen down.
I mean, now that space has been taken up Heaven, it's going to be really, really nice for FlyQuest. There's nobody watching. They're expecting this really big explosive push.
Yeah, it's because of that paranoia. They rotate now, Raze over Bunny Bee here as well to receive this take.
And that Sky Flash now pops out. So that big execution they were looking for, it's not as big as they thought. They don't know where majority of the players are, and they're actually lurking them here, Heaven. Starbound, no idea. Slowly getting pushed out from FlyQuest, but they've lost everybody. than WADA. I mean, the hold was great.
Yeah, it's a funny parallel, right? WADA had some issues with retake on Ascent, so did Fly, so what's the solution? The same one Fly came up with. Let's not play retake. Let's hard stop these sites on the anchor positions, and every player is fragging, right? We saw Astralis the previous round get her 2-piece, Bunny and Power do the same in the last round, and that's what gets us squared away 2-2, so I'm not expecting too much out of these Fly defaults already, even with just that round as evidence, and it seems like Fly is somewhat convinced of the same outcome, Gomper, since they're going back to a very strong let's sit eat up on the B dive, and that's where Australis like the deep smoke, but there's no one to aggress off of it, right? You're like Bunny be paired there. You want something more.
Toxin screen
Something
down.
more indeed. This is hard though. I mean, not a smoke to be seen from Juna, and they are taken down immediately.
It's supposed to be off that contact that you get the orb, you get the mid smoke, but I do like this idea maybe to refight into it off the dog, but immediately Fly, rotate in, would be there to trade out Melia, and it's just a firm now advantage found.
There.
On the eco, by the way, off the one hero rifle they had, and now they want the second rifle from Juna's body.
Oh, they're gonna get it. They are determined. Especially
Did it get juggled away? Maybe. Oh, I think it did.
Oh man. Okay, but this is dangerous. They just kind of left alone here to their own vices. Damage has been made on Bunny, but that's okay. I think this is a good kind of rotation moving over towards the B site. They have the backhand site. They can make a rotation if they feel maybe the danger's a bit too high, but FlyQuest are making numbers work with the Sheriff. They've completely changed the tides and have actually picked up 2 weapons for this 1v2. Waiting for the timing. Beautiful shot already coming. Initially, now that flash is supposed to just help stall for some sort of time while that rotation is made here. Have slowly repositioning themselves. We're now seeing at least the 1v1 happen, but Starbound stronger with the aim.
Man, you can never replace the Starbound Chamber in our hearts. That's all I can say. Plays out the clutch, just looks more comfortable in how they're recontacting here. And you wish maybe Ev, after the plant, set up a flash for that swing, so it wasn't just solo scaling on Fly's side, navigating that 2v1. But all in all, that it's that close on Nico is impressive for Fly. And I really like the responses from WADA here, though, right? They know they lost Heaven control after juggling the gun away, so they fight into B main, like you mentioned, isolate Thea, and even Power find some additional kills from B main. It's just the numbers, the grouping, too effective for Fly in terms of the damage that they were able to deal. And coming into the next, this feels like it's going to be a similarly explosive round, right? We have the full buyback for Fly, we have the null command, and a few pips off from Seekers, from the Showstopper on the WADA side, that these openers are going to be everything.
Oh, and that they will. Open, they will eat it. Now, having a little bit more forgiveness, you know, versus playing into that Neon. So I like the TP back. You know, they can kind of reevaluate their situation.
Yeah, that pace change clearly caught WADA off for sorts.
Unfortunate slow too. That's tough. Now you've lost out a majority of your players leaning over towards mid. You got only 2. So really it's up to that separate site hold B and A.
Okay. And
Toxin screen down.
now it's the full stop. Again, they got what they came for. Stark numbers. And it feels like Australis is the one that can salvage this. And oh, she gets hard red. Now a Starbound who would be in a 1v4 clutch, but with the operator coming out and still having the novelty factor retained from not making contact, I think you just want to save it, hide it for the next.
Yeah, not worth wasting it, to be honest. I do think Starbound's gonna have so much to do with the next round, especially, I mean, just in general with damage, yeah.
Yeah, and this is what we mentioned is the difference, too, for their defense on Split now compared to Ascent. Ascent, they lose a second round thrifty. They can't afford the operator early for Starbound. Here, again, it's coming in relatively early. Again, I think there was some damage done on the eco successfully by Fly to make it a little delayed, but to me, it's going to be instrumental in this defense and limiting the options already further for Fly, who was previously trailing. Now we'll tie us up 3-3, and I think we'll get another buy at least out of WADA with those ults, as we mentioned, coming online from Power and Bunny B's deaths that honestly should allow them to reaffirm that lead. And if it doesn't, that's when you need to enter timeout territory, little panic button moment, because the money will reset and Fly would get the lead.
Yeah, and I mean, too, for Fly, we saw it in the last map. They're very, very good at adapting and reading teams. So that in itself is pretty worrying. The fact that they're now starting to slowly develop. The timeout's coming in, Toby. This is exciting.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's again, it's one of the many forms, the formulas for coach timeouts. This one being it fits that of it's going to be a big ult round, a big swing round, money reset round, right? So it's more preventative than reactionary to the problems that they're seeing. It's like, okay, let's make sure we don't mess this up because again, they've been doing fairly well, like you mentioned. Thea alone with that experience, again, GCC level player, caller, is having those answers, but again, don't want to mess this one up. And I don't know what the call is going to be because we mentioned the defaults weren't quite working for Fly, but the death ball B has gotten predictable. Now we know the operator is A side as well, so it's like, okay, where are you going if you're Fly, you know, with these ultimate scompers? How's an A hit?
Honestly, I would say so. It's difficult because, you know, the op really is a problem. And I'd say maybe they're going to try to gather some info on what's going on there on A because they haven't visited that area in quite a bit.
Yeah.
But I do like the approach of it being an A hit.
Yeah, I would have maybe seen like a convergent path, shut down the op line, and null command so that Star can't TP. Like, there were ways to address, I think, the problems we see, but Fly actually going back to the defaulted start, and WADA looking good on the mid hold here with 3 players strong gompers. I think we're gonna get a first blood within the first few seconds.
Oh no. And they know. I mean, they have had to see in the op, right? It's just sitting there. The shot has been made. And again, there's not really a smoke wrapped up in a good position where it could be utilized. And unfortunately, I mean, now Juna's down, so you've lost out on that control in mid.
Yeah, it's a weird refrag after Star finds the shot through the smoke, and that's really good punishment from Fly once the info came readily available that Power was tucked in that corner after breaking the 0 point, or sorry, that Bunny Bee was, and that's the showstopper gone again. That's why you want the reactivity, the ultimates, maybe to be invested for WADA instead of sitting on top of them, but it is that A end it looks like they're gearing towards. Null command will reveal the plan, but again, there's nobody home. Kind of right home about, so hopefully the null command will dissipate and you play out this 3v4 retake off the Seekers. And the double flash.
Yeah, double flash is nice. I'd say it definitely preps Australis and Starbound up. The only unfortunate thing I would say is that opt for close quarter contact. So we're gonna have to see how that works out. Convergent path is beautiful, but there's not really a follow-up there. They've gotten all 3. Just gonna have to wait and see, I guess. Now the pop flash comes through. Power Pixel just slowly starting to work themselves around the band, and there goes Australis. But too much firepower coming through from Edith, and the confidence is just following.
My ultimate
Wow, I mean, from the opener kill to those post-plant denial retakes, you just did it all. Even the conversion paths to counter the Seekers was all them. So, top of the leaderboard right now, 8 and 3. Had that quiet kind of impact over on Ascent here. It's lights out already to get that lead back. And again, that's why the timeout was taken, to know when to use those ults, what kind of reaction behavioral it should be. And again, you want WADA, I think, to be a bit more risky with some of the ult kills, some of the positionings, because I almost feel like they're playing it a bit too safe here at times, more so around Bunny Bee and that lens. So, see if it gets utilized early on because WADA, again, have numbers mid. Fly, again, starting mid off that 0 point. It's becoming a recurring fact in this attack.
Oof. And now mid is just, I mean, really lacking that centered control. It's unfortunate. You got a shot through smoke that's already going to be missing a very, very, very important player.
Yeah, it's the second time, too, that she's been taken out so early into the round that showstopper has not had its chance to bring the party down for Fly. So, I don't know. Melly as well with a lurk off is kind of crazy, not gonna lie. Maybe trying to prevent if Starbound gets it, or get an ult on a line, but this is nice. Feels like it's faked pressure into B-Heaven, so I'm surprised the numbers are still here.
Yeah.
Per Fly, if anything, it would maybe force the rotations over.
They can cut.
They've just been taking advantage of mid so well. And it kind of pressures and quarters in Power Pixel and Australis here now towards the backside because they have no idea how to handle the situation. Thea really just throws themselves onto the site and manages to get that 2K.
Yeah, Thea, night and day difference right now, individually speaking. The mechanics between the Swiss stage and playoffs here. First bloods from map 1, and then the confidence swinging into Power Pixel of all players. And that confidence in your leader translates to the rest of the players. Jazzy toying with this Heaven fight.
Yeah, and now the op actually not even being able to corner anybody in here for WADA, so it's given over to Melia. Melia's looking good now, too, with that 2K. And maybe the op is in the wrong hands at this point.
And I don't know, that round and the last 2 in sequence with these mid starts, we need to see WADA come up with a solution. I'm surprised I haven't seen the first timeout from them in that regard. And this feels like the kind of, like, the shift in the wind that kind of happened on in that second half, where there was, like, no return for WADA, but it feels like it's so early to call that as well. It's just a feeling, and it's not a very optimistic one, to say the least. So, yeah, we're looking towards these ults. We're looking towards a star player to wake up the WADA squad right now. Yeah, the showstopper. Yeah, the tour de force for Starbound front and center for this day exec.
Oh, and a bit too aggressive there. And I'm unsure of what the intention was. Unfortunately, nobody followed up with that, but I'm liking it. The rotation, they fully trust Thea with this flank, but it just doesn't work out the way they had planned. Barely any information on the site. They've lost out on Ev, and it was a risky play.
Yeah, it's like the rotations were a bit too delayed. Like, I feel like that play was good, but it needed to be a little bit later. Then again, you argue she might not have got the timing on a Bunning Bee, so it might have had the same impact. Regardless, though, this fake from Belia could sell to Heaven. Backstab from Jazzy. That would determine the round.
Yeah, now Smoke has to go down. It gives Jazzy something to work with. Really, taking out one is enough.
Ooh.
You know, I mean, maybe just for the economy at this point, but they're so rich for Fly that that's not really in the cards. Jazzy's just doing that for the KDA.
Playoff Seekers wouldn't be bad either to pick up 1 or 2 orbs off your kill and a death. And Australis is giving the fair 1v1 if Jazzy doesn't have a knife out. And yeah, it feels like whenever WADA are the subject of a B exit from Fly, whether it's direct or late, Australis is good for hers and a few. So, again, I think Fly, when they go mid, it's like they get smart numbers in mid, or they lean A, and that's where they found success here. I like the play. I love the creativity from Fly, and again, that confidence for Thea is screaming, but yeah, mistimed the rest of the system for sure. The cogs a bit low, so not as much efficiency to that system, but they've watered out of the way back in here. Perhaps operator back for Starbound. You still have, again, the showstopper, and I like the disconnected mid hold instead because they were getting first blooded way too often. Instead, look for other ways to get proactive, such as Australis and Bunny be primed for maybe a B rescale.
Oh, okay, creative, and I like it. They know Melia is pretty much lurking over towards A, and that's a free pick, so taking advantage of that space is good.
Yeah, they're learning to navigate these B splits as well. Only question mark would have been Edith in a Heaven, but Trademark takes care of that, and now with numbers so firmly against you, you do have to play pretty grouped here, so everyone kind of joining up in Vent, but even Starbound is repositioned for this, and you have a flash support from Power on site.
Oh, and it's dangerous if nobody can figure this one out. I mean, just one slight peek, I'm pretty sure Starbound runs away with it. There it goes, Edith taking the wrong approach to a not peek. And it's posing a threat now. Starbound's actually going to be a really, really big issue moving forward. A 1v5 for Thea. Thea's in a really awkward spot, so it's not like they could TP out at this point. Just going to have to figure out a way to get out of this very, very awkward 1v5 roundup. Sandwich in now. I mean, util being thrown, so yeah, that's pretty awkward.
Yeah, it feels like all the win cons kind of align for that flawless round for WADA to tie us up 5-5, right? It's like, okay, Melia's lurk gets shut down, Juna's able to manage the mid splits, and even that double up on B main would have handled any additional pressure that was there from Thea's position. So all the reshuffle slightly here of the full commitment from Power on the A side is really, really nice from WADA. They came up with that on their own, by the way. No timeout taken. WADA still have 2 here, which is crazy and why I was kind of losing some confidence for this comeback, but Fly, they like to change pace when things stop working. Very, very pacey to this A site, trying to overwhelm Starbound here, perhaps.
Yeah, the op is going to be really good, but I like the smoke off. Great timing. Now they've gotten onto site. They put a lot of reliance there for Starbound, too. As you can tell, there wasn't really anybody withstanding on site, so that's going to be a plus for Fly.
Yeah, finally, hopefully we see that showstopper right on this retake. But the replay from Fly is well timed.
Yeah, now the showstopper's coming in. It does get some sort of action going on towards backside. And I mean, Edith's in a pretty good spot here, right? Taking this 1v1, there's at least some sort of advantage. Convergent paths in such an awkward position, but they're sticking. Nobody's watching. And WADA, they run away with it.
It's like that moment where you go to, what are you doing? And you're like, oh, I didn't see the vision, right? Like, I'm so confused why we see 2 players for WADA, Australis and Power Pixel, go together into elbow, and then Power is suddenly solo swinging while Juna's wrapping front side. Or sorry, while Australis is wrapping front side, and It's like Astralis saw the vision, maybe from some columns in heaven, that was going to be mistimed. That the trademark was going to delay maybe Fly so that they could stick it all the way through. A major robbery to at least guarantee a tie and probably advance to 7-5 if this momentum remains in their favor.
They need this momentum. I mean, Fly, at any point they can turn things 6-6, you know. Their defense definitely a lot stronger on Split, but a big opening pick coming through from Bunny B. Now information, this is big.
And again, we mentioned it. They know how to handle this mid-split now. Bunny B trying to set up Juno on the refight to get past Edith or set the Viper spit up. This works too.
So scattered. You know, not a lot of cohesion I'm seeing here from Fly. It seems like they've lost out and are now trying to isolate these fights, but finally, you know, that convergence coming through towards the A site.
Oh, I don't know how I feel about you solo challenging into the Viper's pit. I think this framing of a split off the Seekers is the better option, but that hinges on Howard falling and Starbound falling here. When there's 50 seconds left, they're instead trying to sell a fake and open the door for Edith, but I don't think any of this is working in their favor.
No, so many ultimates flying by too. I mean, so much information. It's just pretty much a splurge, and the spike is still left in mid. That's the big unfortunate.
I like the pivot from Melia, but look at this. The players were never dislodged from heaven, so there's 30 seconds left, and you have to reroute to a main, and Edith got so far into spawn that it's going to miss the timing. This double stack can cut off the spike rotate.
Yeah. Okay, now the smoke goes down, but what's the timing? Melia just allows them to take them out on that pressure, on that position, and it's unfortunate. Spike is down. The B site hasn't even really been cleared. I mean, Jazzy now has to try to fight themselves onto site, so it's unfortunate, but good for WADA, right? 7-5. They've taken the lead.
Yeah, and again, that circles back to what we mentioned about, okay, Op came online a lot earlier for Starbound. We didn't get to see as much of their defense over on Ascent, so that checked all of the right boxes. Now, with the side swap, we're going to be asking those questions. I feel like Split, again, it's known for very systematic retakes. And Fly, well, it seemed like they figured out the retakes on Ascent. It came a little bit labored. And we only saw that really one round where Jazzy and Ev played that 2v3 out. So it was more them hard anchoring sites and fighting ahead, and Thea getting those first bloods that wrapped up that half with a bow. I don't think those are the same win cons here for Split, and that could pose further issues for Fly on this road to recovery.
I am happier with the defense, though, here. I do think Melia, this is kind of like their strongest pursuit, you know, in regards to keeping mid under wraps, really isolating them in certain, you know, choke points, so kind of left up to them here.
All right. Slow start for WADA, even if it is a pistol. Spike left deep lobby, and we had the early fake from Power, and now rotating back to maybe feeling additional pressure A side. They're just trying to pop up a bunch of question marks, and Fly is not budging here. Even this dog isn't going to draw the stack of players on B off just yet. I thought the Flash didn't see anything, though. He might. He's not jiggling.
Oh, I like the nade. Yeah, Bunny B, you know, the type to really just push in. They weren't expecting... I mean, I guess they were expecting the B push. 5 players just left on the B site. A huge start. Allowing FlyQuest to take the second pistol round in a row. So this is quite exciting for them. I mean, all they really need to do, is just clear things up. And Melia's like, hey, I'm on my side, all right? This is my defense.
That is our first ace, then, of the Valorant North American Game Changers. Like, that is a huge for Melia, for the confidence as well, coming into a very, again, anchor-heavy style that we said Fly is in a win condition for Split normally, but could be, I guess, for Fly if you make it this effective. Hinder support perfection on the timing from Edith there, and yeah, it's that danger of sending, again, a lot of pressure on Benny B on these solo dives, right? It was very isolated and shut down outright. So, WADA, Eco in the making, heavy mid-stack, and again, we're seeing that traditional defense with your Waylay Sky combo A and your reactive stack B side.
Yeah. Melia's pushed back a little further. I mean, I'm sure they knew mid was the way to go on the save round, but slowly working themselves over. Actually, kind of patient here for WADA, waiting for the right moment to kind of make that play.
Doing a lot of contacting, trying to save some of this util, right? Obviously, Bunny B expended a lot in that initial take, but yeah, I don't know. The A pivot here, fighting right back into the Outlaw. No flash just yet for Power to clear the angle. It feels like this is going to be a similar disastrous zone.
Yeah, not a good place to be, especially with Edith still having the collateral. Somehow, somewhere, I don't know. Edith is just absolutely insane with the sniper, and that really just calls it, right?
Man, I wanted the back-to-back aces gone for Fly there, right? Very, very little HP left on Australis in that 1v1 that just falls short. But yeah, he hit the outlaw killer here for sure.
Wow.
Clat's crazy, criminal even. But yeah, Fly keep that clean. Tie us 7-7 already.
That's rough. It really is. But again, big reset. So, I mean, in
Not
regards
as
to
clean as last half.
yes, I
I have a
agree.
Bulldog and a Guardian. Interesting.
Doing a thing.
And an aggro fight. Oh, no gompers.
No, okay, that's unfortunate. Yeah, Edith does get taken aback, but I do like the smoke. You know, gives a little bit more room to WADA to clear up that heaven space. It's gonna be quite difficult now with that wall kind of really just isolating them back.
Ooh, they still got on the first bloods, number 1.
Yeah.
On the solo B-side anchor. Number 2, I was worried because Bunny B again was alone, but contacting up, scaling up. Now that the lurk player's chamber's been taken down, no, Fly have rotated. Again, you need to be proactive in these when it's Nico, and it's the correct call.
Ooh, okay, just a split second, and it does allow Bunny B to at least get some sort of pick out of here, but you know, that's all they can really do is play together, and I do like the positioning here coming through from Edith, potentially finding another, and they're hitting the heads. Damage has now come. So for Australis, yes, they're in a really good position. They could take the A site, but, you know, 2v1.
Yeah, if you're Jazz, I don't think you take this risk. You just let Australis plant, play the raid, take off Matthias Paranoia, the plethora of util she still has from just contacting on a Starbound,
Yeah.
or just, sure, find the timing and just get the kill.
Okay.
Why not? Making an anticlimactic end to the 1v2 for the bonus conversion for Fly, back into the lead on their map pick, favoring now towards a 2-0 on the series, but yeah, this has been such a crazy series, Gompers, for like non-standard like rounds,
Yeah.
right? We had WADA 3-0 the first half of Ascent, the second round Thrifty for Fly, and now we have a 3-0 again for Fly in the second half of Split. Like, kind of crazy,
Their
not gonna
defense
lie.
is insane. I don't know. I mean, just in general, again, they're really good at you know, finding iterations, finding patterns in gameplay, and I feel like they're kind of following off that here for the attack. Now searching up in mid, Edith does back themselves off, and again, the smoke is there, and Melia does a really good job at holding this down. Now, especially with even more damage, and it does allow Melia to kind of play off this. Beautiful shots.
Again, very solo engagements there from WADA. Will not win you the eco, but what might is the timing in the opener on the B site. Spike plant, gun salvaged. You need numbers though, so Starbound's taking it upon themselves to try and get aggressive.
Yeah. To Starbound really with the Vandal here, unless Power Pixel can get into close quarters, but Ev ends up winning out in that regard anyway, so the pop flash out, maybe Starbound can potentially take Edith out, and that they will, but you know, it's impossible. FlyQuest, they are really taking in these refrags.
And I love how Edith is like, Waylay was nerfed, yeah, but I'll just die for the cause anyways, right? Dives in, pops the hinder for the Melia timing coming from B main. So again, Fly feel like they have a really strong understanding of what's going on. And as soon as they do, they plan around it very effectively, even at the individual level. Like, everything is coming together. This looks like a team that has just gotten finished with the boot camp. And why not? We talked about the stockpiling of the ultimates, how they came up with the fix in the first half, 4 numbers on their own. Power Pixel on that one, but yeah, here it just feels like they're not getting the openings they want in mid space. Again, the proactive util punishing WADA every step of the way from Fly. We talked about like, oh, when they're in a corner, right? The fragment from Ev comes out. You talked about it. You said that Ev likes to util dump, and we're seeing it.
Yes.
And yeah, this is a difficult one for WADA to find their way out of for sure.
It's hard. You know, and initially I would say util dumps aren't good. But I think Ev does it in a way where it's very proactive and it doesn't actually harm FlyQuest. Like, they are so smart.
Yeah, it's guaranteed to give them advantage, essentially.
Yes.
So it's not like, oh, it might help. If not, then we just wasted util, right? It's going to give you numbers every time. And yeah, I agree. Making it look really strong in that regard. I'm nervous, though, because you're coming into, again, that you're stuck in that purgatory of buy, save, buy, save. I like to start on op because, again, they've been on their lonesome trying to find that opening against Thea, that could give the edge. But aside from that, Edith, very reactive on the convergent path, should look good. Melia is probably going to ult either be heaven or mid. Like, I'm not going to see too many options, I think, for WADA this round. And yeah, Flyer, aside from Thea, who now I'm convinced is allowed to, haven't been overpeaking anything.
No, they haven't. Thea just knows that they are
Gonna hit that shot.
Girl, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, they are them, so I mean, I believe it.
Well, this is interesting. 0 point. Okay, it did connect on the chamber only. So they can still maybe set the pieces in motion here, perhaps.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know how I feel about that, Gompers. Like, yeah, info, yeah, all of B main is clear, but that's a big retake ultimate gone. And now you're on a mad dash rotation because of the joint presence being shown A. Ev does their best to buy some time off that fragment, but again, WADA still aren't fully committed to this position. I think they had the double stack in mid to try and cut up the rotations from all this fake noise happening. And I think my concern now is that we're under a minute left and WADA aren't closer to a commitment.
Yeah, I'm questioning the the value, I guess, of that, especially now that everyone's just rotating mid anyway. I do feel like it would have had a lot more for the retake.
Well, we're going to start seeing that impact. I don't think they're going to expect Thea on this deep of a line. She gets the one and done angle, maybe even two on the lineup, and then TP's out is the idea.
I mean, essentially, though, that convergent paths did slow down the initial push up towards mid, so we are seeing a slight difference here.
And that's your entry gone, so who's going to get in? And do you even have enough time to backpedal into Starbound who's on this solo 8 alert? Like, you don't. There's 20 seconds left. You're not going to make it. And, even then, you're probably going to lose the operator. You're probably going to find a timing here. At this point, you just need to save. Yeah. Like, you're not going to make it. There's 10 seconds left, and you don't want to die to the people rotating now in spawn for FlyQuest.
Pop flash comes out. This is going to be nice, especially with Jazzy playing alongside Edith. And that's the thing. They play this partner game so well for Fly.
And usually WADA have such a good internal clock for those rotations, right? Once they find the opening from Starbound, there completely falls apart. And even then, we were clued in, Gompers, your diamond level casters, that there wasn't going to be enough time for that rotation, and they should have saved, and they didn't. They hard commit, and now that money, again, which could have been a save, could have been 3 to 4 rifles coming into the next to give them a chance, is now opening the door for Fly to get to a guaranteed 11. And again, sometimes you just got to cut your losses, and WADA, ego, maybe the pride befalls them here and might just be what leads them towards an 0-2 loss to start off their main event journey.
I mean, a tough competition to go against, really.
Okay, that's the only rationale for why they didn't say would be Starbound having the tour de force, but Thea, the disrespect, I love it. We need to ask you about it in the post interview if it's a 2-0. No jinxes. Liz, thank you for writing that one down, but wow, Flyer just hitting every shot at this point, Gompers. Like, what do you do about this?
Honestly,
every player.
At this point, it feels like just a reiteration of what happened on Ascent. And I'm gonna be honest, the only thing I can see, I'm not seeing the same amount of aggression that we see from WADA typically on Split. Bunny B is no longer moving in down towards mid. I actually haven't seen a lot of mid aggression because of the pressure from Melia, and I feel like honestly, that's their best play. That's where they get most of their rounds, off that Bunny B shotgun mid. So it's quite unfortunate, right? The meta has completely shut down every single strat that they have, and Bunny B now has to play back with this Phantom.
Yeah, again, Bunny B's not having that impact I hoped she would on the Rays that I've seen on other maps like Lotus, and that could just be that uncomfortability again. Like, they just got thrown onto the new patch, right, for the competitive environment. Obviously, we've been playing it probably in ranked and such, but in the entirety of the Swiss stage was on the one prior, so all in all, hey, you said you wanted to see the mid space from WADA taken. They're listening.
Yeah.
No way it happens again. No way you lose this B main fight again.
It worries me. It does. And especially with Melia, I mean, just being completely on top of it. And we do have, like, a variety of ultimates, too, to utilize here. I'm kind of hoping WADA bring out that showstopper, but we'll see.
Need to. Yeah, and they haven't taken enough risks is the best way to put it, right? Like, they're saving those for very, like, confirmed advantages, and they need to make those opportunities, because if you don't, you're going to miss out on the window, right? No command here. Again, we're down to a minute left, and your options have been drastically limited.
Yeah, slight pause, though, as they wait Jazzy with tons of information in regards to where everybody is residing, but there is potential for just some sort of cohesion onto the site. Juna slowly working up. Finally, we do get to see that showstopper come through from Bunny B, but everyone slowly making themselves work on site. It's difficult. WADA, they have 3 players left standing and the site under locks, but it worries me. Melia does have that ultimate. Realistically, this is going to be hard, I will say. I mean, Starbound, actually, Melia does go down, so it's not going to be too much pressure here. Unfortunately, fight isolation is kind of the name of the game. They weren't playing together. There wasn't really any sort of potential for those trades. So Thea stuck in a very, very awkward spot. Bunny B, it does have potential to actually take out Bunny B and Starbound. So they're going to have to pick their fights wisely. If Australis goes down, it gives reason, but it's not.
Yeah. WADA stabilize again. They needed that decisiveness. They needed that opening with the showstopper. Just the space it creates. And the timing here, perfect from Juna on the backstab onto Jazzy, who would have had a crazy impact round, I'm sure, hard anchor in that site. And I'm gonna say it, if Thea wins that fight against Starbound with that from the shadows, it goes Fly's way as well. Like, again, it's a knife's edge the way they're winning these rounds. But that, hey, let's celebrate. WADA, first round of the half, Gompers, right? And much needed to keep Fly off a map of series point.
Yeah.
And, my concern now is that, again, the only thing left on this ult cycle really are those Seekers. And, okay. Starbound says I've been burned too many times by hard swinging to be main. The little pixel line held, but Thea still disrespects it, by the way. And now, because WADA utilized mid as that avenue into the A split, or waylays here, you had Melia playing a bit closer, and okay, Thea, we're getting a bit too active now, all right, closer syndrome, don't let it set in.
I will say that's the difference between the, you know, starting to feel that confidence and that ego.
Yeah.
WADA being a little awkward with their approach here, because you're seeing Jazzy literally just peek out a name.
With an op out of the sky, by the way. But again, she's versatile. She's a multi-tool, and we are seeing it through the odd jobs all across the map. And speaking of odd jobs, Seekers into the Bunny B entry. I like the support, but Melia is so good in these anchor positions.
Yeah, so much pressure too. We're finally going to be able to see, I mean, the potential peek out onto B, but it doesn't work out. So I don't know. I mean, I see the vision for the Seekers, but it's just not enough.
Yeah, I kind of want to do like a study, Gompers, like of like what site and what map has like the lowest like execution success rate because of how fruitful anchors are. I feel like Split B has got to be up there because, again, I feel like I see so many of these players do so well on these anchors, and that's right up Fly's alley where we mentioned they sent WinCon wasn't necessarily playing well-coordinated retakes, it was playing well-coordinated anchors, right? We talked about Melia, we talked about Thea being that effective cross, and that's still kind of what has happened here on Split, I'm not gonna lie. Like one site, one heaven. Edith sometimes Edith on the pivot. Speaking of Edith on the pivot, operator.
Edith in mid now. I don't know, it's difficult because FlyQuest do love this 3-person hold in mid, and it completely shuts down WADA in any way, shape, and form.
So backtracking here, but immediately look at this, the duo on this A defense and back on the line. Sky, Waylay. What do you do to break through it?
Yeah. Sky Flash now coming in, but they're
timing
isolated down inside of the smoke. It actually gives Jazzy a way out for a second to recollect themselves, but everybody on the side. This is match point, guys, by the way, so it really does matter what Edith does here. And an elbow. Finally, we do actually get to see that Viper's pit locked down, and it's up to Melia now to make those numbers count, but here's the difficulty. 3 players watching up towards top. And I mean, it was close, but not close enough.
I was a bit worried multiple times, from the double swing out of the Viper's pit to they all had low HP before Power Pixel got that regrowth off. But again, this is when WADA start to dial in, when they know they're on the hinge of being sent to the lower bracket, when they need to scale up. And I like the simplification here. Again, they start with the information gathering, then they immediately pivot into an end. It might be starting to get predictable. This magnetic draw to the late A ends is my only concern, because you still have 3 more rounds you need to win to get to overtime. Yeah. And we're hitting that grand finale-esque old cycle, Gompers, with the convergent paths, right? We'll get that null command here sooner rather than later. And it's, again, a pivot for Fly. Still a timeout, by the way, if things go awry, but the 3 stack and Jazzy this time in male.
Okay. Another aggressive push out towards mid. And it makes me wonder. I know WADA, you know, obviously a little bit more accustomed to Fly being aggressive on their defense, so they're sitting back a little more.
Yep. I think they spotted at least, obviously, Australis in mid, but doesn't include them in unless it's an A end or not. Ooh, Thea. These B first bloods are crazy. Starbound has met their match, and now, again, it's that crutch of this A-side exec that has numbers on the way.
Yeah, numbers that, unfortunately, Fly... I mean, WADA just cannot seem to lose. They can't afford it. In reality, Bunny B is really just trying to get everything back. And if anyone can, I do believe it could be Bunny B. The problem is now. I mean, you're stuck with Power Pixel having barely any health left.
You can converge it past this retake if you want to. But the timing, you lost.
Yeah. timing's gonna be difficult. Unfortunate. Yeah, okay, this is good though. Jazzy does still have Dog and Flash. Unfortunately, rotation from Thea's coming in way too late. They need to go in now. Cannot wait. That Flash is ready. And Thea's taking too long. Flash is prepared, but the paranoia does manage to give some of that damage. It's there. It's for the taking. Can they do it? Jazzy, wide swing. That's all they need to do. But the repositioning is crazy. The timing for WADA, they're playing on that and abusing it.
Wow. Yeah, they understood that they were low HP. They understood the capabilities of Melia in that position, and they play around that perfectly. And Power Pixel now has saved this game multiple times without a regrowth, I'll say it. And yeah, double digits reached here now. 2 more rounds needed for overtime to keep their chances alive here. But have to see. Bunny be starting to heat up too, right? When it matters, this reclear, this aggro into screens that kept and expanded numbers for WADA. All very impressive, but again, all it takes is that one good ult round for Fly, so can never count them out. Still sitting on this timeout as well. We'll probably see it next if they lose again.
So funny how much fear is in WADA, man.
Not wrong. Yeah, they play it so slow and they speed up so fast. Different look this time, though, with Starbound alongside this A exec, and instead Bunny Bee trying to be that punish against Thea, but I don't know. Fly have been good about not giving these kills away. And you can see Edith is in that reactive convergent path position off of contact instead of taking that line of sight themselves.
Entry's deadly, though, on A. I do think that convergent paths is going to be a very, very hard take for WADA to get onto site. The problem is I mean, you know, 30 seconds left. You still got 2 players left on site. Convergent paths is going to slow things down heavily.
That's where the issue is. WADA in these time crunch situations get a bit sloppy sometimes.
Dirtos. I mean, they've completely slowed down at least one agent, luckily enough, wasting that showstopper too. And the collateral, I mean, just everything, every single component coming on for FlyQuest right now is working. The cohesion is beautiful, and they have just one out. They're 2-0 here coming through FlyQuest. They, I mean, dominate, I guess. So they are the victors for the first match coming through for Game Changers.
Wow, a stability element. And I think this is a huge fight for them to